Nate in your state.
What's going on, y'all? This is Nate from Nate in Your State. Today we're going to talk about my journey to Philadelphia. Now, I forgot to mention this to you guys, but I'm a very active cyclist, and I often bike in New York City from the Bronx all the way to Brooklyn as a regular day commute, and also as a way for me to exercise. This is like one of the greatest exercise that one person who likes to travel can do. And I often love to test my limits to see how far I can go. 7 years ago, with my friend Will, we traveled to Washington, D.C. on our bikes the first time around. And it actually took us 3 days to get there. And believe me, when I tell you I don't like New Jersey when it comes to getting through New Jersey, you almost always would get lost in New Jersey. And granted, let me tell you, 7 years ago, we didn't have proper technology as we had now today. And we were all over the place trying to find a way how to get out of Edson, New Jersey. So we got lost in Jersey and was there for like a day and a half until we broke out, and then broke free into Trenton, and then from Trenton we got into Philadelphia. Now this time around, now that things are a lot better for us, I actually wanted to do a personal trip to Philadelphia to see 7 years, does Nate still got it? And yes, I conquered this trip. It took me about almost close to 10 hours to do this trip, and I don't regret a single thing. I'm going to do a full write-up about this journey. In it, I'm going to discuss about why I did it, how did I do it, and future trips that I have in store. So stay tuned for that. Oh my gosh, guys. You don't understand how beautiful this trip was. It was a sight to see. I've seen a lot of things, and one of the things I often say is, you know that you're far from home when you start to see farming.
This is how you know you're a long way from home. You see these fields? We do not have that in our city at all. Now look, that's a barn over there.
And I did see a lot of farms and cattle out there. I said, wait a minute. New Jersey got some horses. New Jersey got some cows. I expect to see that in Pennsylvania, but I wasn't even in Pennsylvania yet for the time I started to see farming. And, you know, you got the little horses and the barns. And I'm like, wow. It was a great experience. It was a lot of plains and open doors for me to see everything out there. And this was quite the experience. Okay, so I used the app Starva to track my progress during the duration of the trip. And as you can see, this entire trip from New York, well, I didn't track from me leaving my house. I just did it. And when I got to the George Washington Bridge, as you can see, it's just about 113 miles. And that is a lot of distance that I covered from New York all the way into Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And my calories, I burned a lot of calories. For those who don't know, 1 pound is equal to 3,500 calories. In this trip, I burned more than that. I burned 3,669 calories. And yes, I was extremely exhausted throughout this entire trip. I believe I was starting to get winded. Well, I was starting to really feel effects a little past Middlesex and getting into Milestone. I was starting to really feel that the trip is starting to wear down on me, and I was trying to conserve my waters, but the waters definitely helped. There's a special thing that my friend lent me that actually helped this trip, and I kind of recommend that everybody get this special thing if you do this trip. But I'm going to talk about this special thing in the write-up for this. So you guys gonna have to look at the write-up to know about this special thing that made this trip so much bearable to do. After crossing the bridge, after getting to Trenton, because now I was really starting to lose steam, but I was starting to get more motivated as I felt the goal coming close. Where you see Trenton right there, I took the bridge over.
When I got over there, I was in Levittown, Pennsylvania.
And that's when it hit me. I said, yes, I did it. But before that, you can see that somewhere between Middlesex, around New Brunswick, I was avoiding a path because one of the paths had a very rocky terrain, a very rocky trail. This was, what was it? The Delaware Riotin Canal Trail, as they call it. And the initial start of the trail was like extremely rocky. So I took a route around it. And by doing that, my GPS was like, hey, if you're gonna do this trip, if you really want to avoid this trail, we're gonna add an hour to your trip. I was like, all right, whatever. Add that hour to my trip. And of course, I tried not to disobey the GPS throughout this duration of this trip because the GPS was giving me the proper ways. Unlike the first time that I did this trip, the GPS was giving me the proper routes to go into Philadelphia. It was making me avoid all the hills. It's like, oh, so there'll come a time when I was biking and I see like some incredibly monster hill, and then I'm like, oh Lord, I have to climb this hill. And then the GPS would be like, turn left here. I was like, yes! And then I'll turn left and avoid that hill, be like, bye. And then I avoid that hill and then keep going on my way. But the one time that I actually did disobey and not get on the trail because I wanted to avoid complications to my bike tires, that's when the GPS was like, yo, listen, Nate, I'm trying to tell you, you need to get on this. If you don't go on this, I'm going to have to add an hour to your trip. So do it. And when it added an hour to my trip, I began to see why. That's when all the monster hills started to come. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to have to go through these hills. I'm going to get tired. But I still persevered through. And made it past these crazy hills that I encountered from Middlesex and going into Milestone, New Jersey. And when I got into Trenton, I was like, yes, this is the home stretch. Let me get into Pennsylvania. Then my GPS was like, congratulations, you made it to Pennsylvania. No, I didn't say congratulations, I'm lying. It said, welcome to Pennsylvania. And I was like, yeah!
Alright guys, just I need to get over this bridge and I'm in Pennsylvania! I don't know what that sign says, but yeah, holy smokes, I still got it.
Like I was flexing up and all like yeah! And now that I realized I was in Pennsylvania, I definitely had to take a lot of pictures. And from there on, that's when the adrenaline got into my body and I was starting to become a lot more hyped than I was slugging around getting to Pennsylvania. I was like, oh man, okay, I'm running out of supplies, I'm getting a little exhausted, I'm getting a little tired. But when that GPS was saying, welcome to Pennsylvania, I was about to say Philadelphia. When the GPS was saying, welcome to Pennsylvania, I felt so motivated. I said, cool, let's do this. And another discouraging thing was when I got to Pennsylvania, that wasn't the end of the road. They were saying, okay, you have another 3 hours to go. I'm like, dang, son, I have another 3 hours to go. And I was trying to beat the clock because the night was falling upon me and I didn't have any nighttime gear. I didn't have any nighttime gear at all. I didn't have the headlights. I had my phone that had a flashlight, but I didn't have the headlights. I didn't have the rear reflectors. I just had regular old Nate with his helmet and recording mechanisms, action cams, and I just went into it. So I was trying to beat the clock, and I was going in, listening to my music, getting all motivated. And when I actually did get into Pennsylvania, oh man, I was coming in from North Philly, and that's when I'm like, yo, I made it. I'm trying now. Now the goal was let's get to Central Philly, because now I'm trying to get to where everything is at. So now I'm trying to get to Central Philly. I'm already here. I'm motivated. Let's go. And I'm pumping. And granted, I'm already used all my muscle energy. The body was fatigued. I was feeling it, the fatigue, and I was like, come on, Nate, you got this. And I was riding through, just all hyped. And then just going through the lights, it's like, yes, I got this. I'm here in Philly. I am Nate the Great who came from New York. I am in your state and I made it here. So no one's can't tell me anything at this moment. So all of that momentum was going into the body, and I was really feeling myself, and that converted into energy for me to keep on going. And that was like the main rush I needed to actually get into Central Philly, because I was actually sprinting on the bike. I was really sprinting, as tired as I was, that the body wasn't even recognizing what was going on. You just knew that, hey, you're here. And I was just sprinting through, and like, this is cool, this is cool. And I got there, and like, yo, word, I made it Philadelphia. I said, okay, let me just check my log, because I was trying to keep my phone alive, because I was using Starva to record everything to make sure I don't miss a moment. Because I know I'd feel sad, because these are bragging rights right here. I gotta let the world know that I did it. So there goes my Starva, and then I have it out there. That's going to be a nice little frame I'm going to have to make for myself. I said, okay, New York to Philadelphia. I wish I would have done that for the DC, but we'll talk more about that in the write-up, shall we? In the next episode, I'm actually going to get into it, where I talk about some of the food spots that I've been to while in Philadelphia. Be sure to check out the previous episodes, episode 1 where I talk about the Super Slice in Yonkers, New York, and episode 2 where I visit the gaming nerd/geek bar in Sandy Springs, Georgia, Battle and Brew. Links to those videos in the show notes right after this video. I hope you enjoyed my piece on the road to Philadelphia. If you did, what I want you to do is click subscribe, then click on the bell thingy and drop a like. If you feel like supporting the show more directly, visit my Patreon. Once again, I am Nate from NateInYoState. Thank you very much for watching. Keep eating, keep exploring, and I'll see you next time.